Hi, welcome to Awakening Soul Truth. I'm Robbie Short. I'm a yogini. This is Allison Ledbetter. She's a medium. We're both Reiki Masters meditation teachers. And today we're talking about truth and what truth feels like.
And this follows our episodes on gaslighting, which was pretty harsh, right? It was pretty in your face. But we wanted to bring that up because we're really clear that truth feels good. Love feels good. And we're really sad to say that most people don't know that. Most people have compromised what love feels like and associate it with pain or conditions.
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, up until probably my 40s, I would say that I trusted people to a fault.
Oh, yeah.
And I am a very gullible person.
Well, yeah, me too.
And I tend to believe what people tell me. And then I had an energy worker and a psychic tell me I trusted people to a fault. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's why I end up in these scenarios and in these relationships that end up being toxic.
And I think that happens because you're experiencing love. You're projecting your love onto somebody else. You're projecting your truth onto somebody else. We talked about that the other day. We talked about projection as the number one ability of narcissists to blame and manipulate people that are, willing to be blamed and manipulated. But it's also because why do these loving people fall in love with and believe the narcissist? And I'm like, oh my God, it's because we have a home base of love in the first place. We know what love feels like. We're doing the projection too. So many women fall in love with unkind assholes. Men do too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pigeonholing here. Men do too. But that's because they have a place of gentleness and love and softness.
We were talking about relationships and different ones we had been in when I was just on my Joshua Tree retreat, and there were 6 of us women. Sometimes you get into a relationship with someone, especially when you're younger, and you fall in love with their potential. Yeah. And I think that's a projection.
You actually believe in more than who they really are.
Yeah, and you don't want to see, you kind of have your blinders on when they're trying to show you the truth of who they are. You're still believing in their highest potential.
Yes.
And it can get us into trouble.
It can get us in a lot of trouble. So let people's actions speak for what's happening. You can feel all the love in the world, but maybe don't make a commitment until the actions are congruent with what you're feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. We have this, common slogan, actions are stronger than words, or actions can prove things more than words. And it's so true.
Yeah. It really is.
So in yoga, we have something called yamas, and it's a way to basically stay in control of your thoughts and your words and your actions. And the first one is ahimsa, which is non-harming, non-injury, non-violence. It's pretty self-explanatory. And on the affirmative side, it's being compassionate with your actions. But the second one of these is satya. And satya means honesty and integrity. Being open, being honest, being vulnerable, holding your integrity, speaking clearly, speaking truth. When we're on the mat, we often say, be honest with yourself on what you can or can't do, or what you should or shouldn't be doing, say if something's wrong with your body, so that you're not pushing yourself into the point of injury. But that also equates off the mat. How are we staying true to ourselves and true to our word?
And we think we have a pretty good formula for that. So if you're not practicing yoga every day and getting that grounding place, another option is to get centered, breathe into your heart, put your hand on your heart for 3 to 6 minutes, and then present yourself with a statement and allow your body to feel if it's true or if you start to get uncomfortable. If it's true, it feels good. It upholds you. You'll feel peaceful. If it's a non-truth, a lie, a form of deception, You will feel disempowered. You will feel uncomfortable. You might start to wiggle. This is a really great tool. Be honest with yourself. I love putting this into practice personally when I was being betrayed by our financial advisor. Like literally my body was telling me so because I started screaming in the middle of a meeting with him.
Oh, wow.
My body just lurched into something's not right here. And I just started screaming. I'm like, I have to get out of your presence. I can't even be with you. Oh my God. Like I was yelling. Not at him. I just started yelling and I left. These are things that are telling you the truth. Your body will tell you the truth by having a reaction to a lie, to a deception. It gives you a place of nausea.
We've actually had a couple incidences with our children lately, because they're teenagers and not telling us the truth. And it's so important because if you want someone to believe you and to believe in you, you're going to have to be open and honest.
Yes.
Now we get that, we all go through this at
teenage
points,
20s.
especially during our teenagers, because you're trying to figure out who you are and you don't want your parents to learn certain things because you don't want them to be disappointed. I don't know, when I got busted, I don't know about you, but when I got busted telling lies or falsehoods during my teenagehood, I finally just started telling the truth. And when I did, it changed the relationship I had with my parents.
Absolutely.
So when this happened to my son recently, I shared all of that with him. And now he's back to telling me the truth again.
I love that. I did not tell my parents the truth. I think I walked through those first couple of years of teenage and into my 20s just a complete and total liar. I mean, I was not a good person. And it's heartbreaking to look back on. I've done a lot of forgiveness work, but for me, it was because I was so different from everybody else. I was having psychic abilities. I was having a knowing about people, and I had no idea what to do with it. And
or how to say it.
Yeah, I was having mystical experiences, and people would think I was crazy. And I was really pigeonholed as a bad student, even. Now, later on, I ended up being an A student when I went back to college, when I started to take ownership of my life and admitting the truth to myself and really allowing the divine to be a big expressed part of myself. But when I was a teenager and in my 20s, it wasn't being expressed. It was being denied by everybody around me. I was literally being gaslit. And I was so filled with anxiety. I was filled with lying. I was using drugs and alcohol to continue to separate myself from the truth. I had to get really clear, and it was really hard. And I eventually ended up not very gracefully pushing everybody out of my life and saying, I'm done. I'm not going to be in this lie anymore.
It's interesting. You said alcohol took you away from it. I think psychedelics brought me more to truth.
Oh,
I did a whole different thing than you did, but I felt like the psychedelics were bringing me to the truth of everything's composed of energy. Everything is intertwined as one. Things that have been told to me were actually not true. And I was resonating with things that were true. I don't know. It opened up a different kind of doorway for me.
But so I wasn't doing psychedelics. I was actually...
Yeah, you were doing...
I was smoking.
You were drinking and smoking.
I was smoking pot every day. Yep. But the point is, when you do set yourself free, even though the consequences of that might be daunting, pattern of lying or untruth for yourself, those things have to come down. And we can get scared about the results of admitting the truth to yourself. So there could be big consequences. But when you go through those and you meet yourself on the other side, it's beautiful. You feel liberated. Your life flows with ease.
Well, not only that, but when you're living a lie, you are held captive by that lie.
Absolutely.
And you're having to regurgitate it over and over again, or you're having to feed more stories into it to protect yourself
Yep.
because you weren't telling the truth to begin with. And then who wants to live that way?
Yeah.
It just makes life more challenging, more difficult to keep up with it all.
And I think it's very true. I think if you are lying, that's a really good indicator that something's not settled inside of you. There's something that's not working. So it's not to say, hey, stop lying, be the best person you can be. Look at the lying. If you are lying, there's a reason. Like little kids, they lie because they're afraid that mom won't love them if they say the truth, right? This is the same with the divine. We have a relationship with the divine. If we believe in it or not, you do.
Or sometimes people lie to protect other people.
Protect other people, protect situations, protect money, protect, whatever you've held up here that's not true. Bring it in.
But the truth will set you free. I mean, there's a common expression and it's there for a reason. Truth does lead to liberation and it frees you up because you're not having to hoard and hold all the lies inside.
Yeah.
So there was something that I learned in yoga years ago, and they said, if you want to find truth in your body, if you're standing in Tadasana, which is a standing mountain pose, you're grounded and you have your weight evenly distributed between each leg and each foot.
Okay.
And we can do it sitting, actually.
Okay.
And then just close your eyes. Ask your body, give me a sign for truth, or give me a sign for yes. And then you can ask your body, give me a sign for no.
And feel them.
And then usually your body will maybe sway or rock one way for yes and another way for no. And it may be different for everyone.
However you feel it in your body.
Yeah, each person will be unique.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel it in my stomach.
You feel it in your gut.
I feel it in my gut.
Should we try it real quick? To see?
Yeah.
How we feel it?
Everybody, close your eyes. Breathe into your heart. Take 4 really full breaths.
And then just ask your body, give you a sign for yes. Expect it to be subtle. And then equally ask your body to signal no. And then, of course, you can drop into certain questions and then ask your body to tell you yes or no. And
Okay, wait, what did you feel?
I felt a little bit of forward motion for yes and a little side to side for no. For me.
Interesting.
What did you
I felt
feel?
this ease and comfort and softness come over kind of the right side of my body.
Oh,
all the way
interesting.
down.
See, hers is totally different.
It is. When you said no, it happened kind of down here and in my belly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It was in 2 totally different locations
Oh, nice.
of my body. So you swayed a little bit?
I swayed a little bit. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. How did you experience it? We're curious.
Yeah. Leave it in the comments below because that way, if we share, then it may help other people figure out what these subtle things are in their body.
Right. And the other thing I've heard about when you're asking yes or no questions, you're asking your divine self a truth or to reveal, you want an answer, and having it revealed, it's going to be short and sweet. It's not going to be a long, drawn out explanation. That's the mystical experience telling you. I listen and allow mysticism to really move through my life. And we've shared these things before. So I let nature talk to me all the time.
Yeah, we were looking for different signs and synchronicities when we were at Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating because when you keep your eyes wide open and you start to notice things that come at you, for instance, Chrissy and I teamed up for this particular retreat, and we used to work for my studio, Half Moon Yoga. And when we did a retreat in Sedona. I don't know if you remember, but Chrissy and I met up at a place called Half Moon, and it was this little cafe in one of the airports. Well, when I got to Palm Springs, the city we were flying into, she had texted me and she says, "I'm already here. Find me at Half Moon." It was not the same chain. It was a completely different storefront.
Oh, different airport.
But it was like, it was a total different airport. And we're like, okay, here's our sign. And we were with this lady, Melissa, who was sharing with me while we were on the trail that she feels really drawn to things that are shamanic and Native American history. And we had gone on this trail that had hidden petroglyphs, and she wanted her picture taken with it. Well, when we got the photograph back, there was this massive orb over her body, like hanging out, all like beautiful light. And then I noticed on a different trail, she was like, "I don't know what it is about me, but I want to take a picture of all the arrows that are pointing the way." And I'm like, because that's going back to your Native American thing. It's like an arrowhead. And she had never put the two together. And, you know, if you're open and paying attention to these things, you're going to start seeing it around you.
You're going to see that the universe supports you.
Absolutely.
So when you're aligned, the universe supports you. There's signs everywhere. Be supported. Love yourself enough to tell the truth.
And with the pendulum, since I mentioned that earlier, if you use one of those pendulums and you put it, you know, cup your hand and you're just kind of hovering it here, you know, you can call in your angels, you can call in your spirit guides, only aligned to the highest vibration of love and light. And then once you call them in, you could be in the question and you can say, okay, show me the sign for yes or no. For me personally, the yes rocks this way.
Okay.
And the no rocks this way.
I always have it spin one direction.
Sometimes
or the other.
Sometimes it goes in a circle.
Right.
But that's another good way if you're kind of on the cusp of trying to figure something out. You could use the pendulum.
I have to give a little bit of warning here too.
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing about using our body sometimes as a tool when we're really, really looking for something. Because you're looking for it and you want an answer really, really badly, it can actually block you from really feeling the truth behind it. A good example is, I've had so many women will come in and be like, "I need to find my mate. I'm here for you to clear the energy so I can find your mate." And my answer to that is always like, I can't tell you when that's going to happen. You have to move into the space of loving yourself. And then you will find a mate. Like fulfilling yourself once you start on this spiritual path with somebody else's energy, that's not the divine way. If you're searching and searching and searching for something outside of you and you pick up a pendulum or you pick up tarot cards or whatever, it can read what you want. There's a fallacy place there. You got to be really, really careful.
Yeah, don't become dependent on it.
But
it is a fun tool that you can use.
It is a fun tool. Right. And don't do the Ouija board. That's out.
No.
That picks up a lot of dark energy. It's weird. I think the Ouija board was designed just to pick up on ghosts. It's such a low vibration level.
I've only played with it a couple times in college. And one time I did it with a couple friends of mine.
Yeah.
And it spelled out Lucifer.
Ooh.
And I didn't even know what Lucifer was or meant. And here I was, a preacher's daughter. And the girl started laughing so hard because she was manipulating it.
Oh.
Like she was just trying to... She was
freak
trying to mess
out?
with us, you know?
I would have totally freaked out.
She was totally trying to mess with us, and I'm just sitting there like, la, la, la. And she's like, "It's Lucifer." And I'm like, "I don't know who that is." So needless to say, that ruined the game because I didn't freak out, and then she was having to explain, and then the other girl realized she was actually manipulating the whole thing. So I've never played with the Ouija board again.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's another thing. If you're honest with yourself, you will attract like-minded people. Just Oh, it's the law of attraction. We have to bring that up.
Oh, that's true.
Because
Yeah.
when you're honest with yourself, honest people come to you and you have these great experiences. If you keep attracting, and I'm sorry if you don't want to hear this, if you're attracting assholes, there is something going on. And you need to take a deep, hard look at yourself, and that's okay.
I should also say, you could also be in Rahu, and if you don't know what Rahu is, it's according to Vedic astrology, because I have been in Rahu for like a decade and will be for another couple years. And being in Rahu is a period of time in your astrological chart where there is going to be a lot of karma playing out, a lot of deceit, trickery, things of that nature.
Yes, but that being in that, you still have the opportunity to engage it.
Oh, yeah.
You still have this place of being like, wow, things aren't going my way. What's really happening?
And there are things you can do. Like my Vedic astrologer told me,
Absolutely.
wear frankincense every day because that's a high vibrational spiritual oil.
Yeah.
And that will lift you up. He also told me don't wear black every day because the black is low vibrational color. And I love black and I'm wearing navy right now. But
Right.
but he was saying, make your choices lighter and more colorful since you're in this particular time
Stage.
frame or stage in your natal chart.
And I have to say that if you are feeling this place of like, I'm not getting the job or I'm not getting the companionship, then it could be a karmic piece. And there's no better way to heal karma because you can heal karma. You can own that. You can own whatever's happening. I mean, I've sat down with something so hard and allowed myself to sit with it, and it feels like you're being torn apart, and then your world changes afterward. All these things tell you your soul is talking. Your soul's in charge if you like it or not.
So, be honest with yourself. Be
Yeah.
honest with, are you happy with your life work? If not, this is the year to make big changes. 2023 is the year for not only healing, but making bold choices, taking leaps of
Absolutely.
faith. If you're not happy and content and
Change it.
having integrity in your relationships, relationships are a projection of each other. It's like looking in the mirror. So is it them? Is it you? Is it both of you? Can you come together somehow?
Oh, yeah.
So be honest with yourself. It's a huge piece. You have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with others.
And love yourself. When you're honest, you feel an enormous amount of love, self-love.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the divine loving you. All right, so the takeaway is, I just wanted to say, be honest with yourself, right?
Yep.
Feel the truth. It'll lift you up. It empowers you. Sometimes we have truths that we think are true because society told us that's what's working. But at the end of the day, your soul is in charge. Again, you don't have to believe in your soul. It's still in charge. I'm sorry. So the faster you get with that, the better, happier you're going to be. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I could have never been as happy as I am if I didn't admit to myself that I was a medium. And it's not a cool thing to be a medium in the South. Like, this is not a thing.
And I had to finally admit to myself later in life, because I was still going to a Church of Christ, this is not feeding my soul. And is this really what I want to teach my son?
I remember
So
that.
I had to be honest with myself, because I put this pressure on, I have to go to church. No, I don't. I can still have a relationship with God. I can still have a relationship with the divine and all of its expressions without having to do something that I'm not aligned with, or sit around with people that don't believe the same
Right.
than I do,
Sarah flat out said to me, she was like, I'm sorry, why are we going to church?
She actually thanked me. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
She said, I have you and my mom to thank for having these conversations about living and spirituality, and I don't feel like I need church.
Yeah. But we do love morals.
Yes. You can cut all that out.
That's okay. But
So I'm going to lead us in a meditation that actually stems from more or less Kundalini Yoga.
Nice.
They actually often greet and end classes with Sat Nam. Sat Nam.
Sat Nam.
Sat Nam. And just feel how the tongue goes to the rooftop of the mouth. And there is a marma point or acupressure point here. And Sanskrit's really good about tapping into those little subtle energetics. So Sat Nam. And what we're going to do is we're going to say it 3 times out loud,
Okay.
3 times in a whisper. And then this will be the mantra that we want to continue in our mind quietly. And then once we say it out loud and in a whisper and silently, I'll tell you what it means.
Oh, you're not. I was like, what does it mean? But you're going to tell us.
I can go ahead and tell you.
Yeah, okay.
It means truth is my name.
Oh, nice.
I am truth. Truth is my identity.
Love that.
Okay?
Okay. Truth is my name.
Yeah. So we'll sit up nice and tall. If your feet touch the floor, make sure they flatten down. And then if you're sitting cross-legged or in another style, just feel your sits bones rooting down. And then once you ground down through your seat or your feet, start to align the spine. And feel it's like an antenna lifting up towards the ethers above, where you're sending out signals, but you're also receiving. And a mantra is an instrument of the mind that we use repetitively to go beyond our normal, everyday, or negative thinking. And this one is simple. Sat Nam. So let's say it 3 times out loud. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. And a whisper. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Silently. Sat Nam. I am truth. Truth is my name. Truth is my identity. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. I am truth. Truth is my name. Truth is my identity. Sat Nam. Keep that rolling over in your mind. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. I am truth. Truth is my name. Truth is my identity. Sat Nam.